stream, which I've been looking forward to. Boop, gotta get that shit adjusted. Did someone already chat? Are you guys just on fire, or am I out of my mind? All right. Let's see if I can get this whole technology stuff figured out, and then we can hop right into cloning cannabis. Hey! The Dude Grows Show. Even if you Google it, is the first thing to come up. Oh, wait, I'm on Microsoft Bing. Not Google. But hey, if you Bing it, The Dude Grows Show is the first thing to come up, and that's pretty cool. We watched a little bit of their stuff on a different stream. I believe it was the bro science. We were going over bro science versus grow science. Well, actually, we were just talking about bro science, and that was a pretty good time. But I'm pretty sure a lot of us know the basics, so I kind of want to go over that later. But pretty much, cloning. You take a section of a clone from a certain genetic, or you take a section of a plant from a certain genetic. Yo, how's it going, T-Flow? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. How are you, CE? Good question. I did think I read it. Wow. I thought I read it wrong. I'm a little bit medicated. I'm a little bit messed up. But I did think that was asking if I'm CE. I'll address this real quick. I did the rebrand. I got a new logo set up. I hope you guys like that stuff. I don't want the C word in my name to hold me back from reaching more people, being able to have more of a conversation and making a bigger impact on people's grows. Hopefully a good one. That is the mission, but no, I'm doing fantastic. Big things are coming out this month, one of which Mr. Grow mentioned on a podcast. I was on a show I was on Garden Talk. I was on the Garden Talk podcast with Mr. Growit, and we talked about a topic, and it was super awesome. And I hope you guys can look forward to that. And I'm just super hyped for it to come out. He didn't mention when it's going to come out, so I'm not going to tell you guys. But yeah, he gave me a shout out on the From the Stash podcast, and that was super fucking cool to see. And I showed everybody who would care to look. But how to clone plants, tips for success. I think we want to look up different methods, because I know there are different ways you can go about it. There's gels, powders. Some people use honey. I'm sure some people would dip their plant in sugar if they thought it would work. Taking a clean cutting at a 45-degree angle below the last node of the plant, and that 45-degree angle is super important. If you miss that step, it is not exactly crucial. All it really does is gives the bottom of the plant more surface area. What works for me when it comes to cloning? When it comes to cloning, I've had the highest success percentage with the Clone X powder that they sell. The way I would use it is I would just dip them directly into the container, and that's something I would not do now, knowing about pathogens and diseases and all that good stuff, and that can be passed on from plant to plant. But yeah, the powders work super well. I used those for the last probably 4 runs when I was growing with my dad or something like that. And then I also have used the gel, which I just don't have that much experience with. And I have also taken clones and just put them into growing medium and cloned it that way. So I know that is successful and that it can be done, but it's not necessarily optimal, and it doesn't give you the highest percentage. I had multiple clone domes that had 100% rooting rate with cloning powder, and that's something that's super important when you're looking at doing pheno hunting, when you're looking at just wanting to save money on seeds, have a faster growing plant. So if you're looking to buy a brand new product to do clones with, I 100% recommend the powder. I use CloneX gel and spray, Root Riots, Heat Mat, Humidity Dome, Low Watt LED, plain water, really good success. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good setup. Let's see. CloneX gel, I've used their gel. It's pretty good. Root Riots, use those. Heat Mat, I don't use a heat mat. Humidity Dome, I do use that, and then I dim down my LED and also raise it up. So it is at a low wattage, but I have pretty much used my SF2000 for all of that. But yeah, no, that sounds like the hookup. Definitely, for sure. Bacterial cloning. Creative Biogene. Is this talking about using bacteria? Oh, DNA cloning and subcloning service. Wow, service. Is this article literally just about replicating DNA? That's fucking crazy. That's not what I was supposed to be on. Videos of cannabis cloning methods, not exactly what we're here for. How to clone a cannabis plant. Cannabis clone is a cutting such as a branch that is cut off of a living marijuana plant, which will then grow into a plant itself. A clone has the same genetic makeup as the plant it was taken from, which is called the mother plant. A typical clone is about 6 inches in length, give or take, and after cutting it off, the mother plant, the clone is put into a medium such as a root cube, which Root Riot makes fantastic root cubes, given hormone to encourage root growth. After roots develop and then is transplanted into a pot or the ground, it will likely grow any weed plant. And then it goes over reasons why. What is a cannabis mother? How to choose a mother plant to clone. Okay, so this could be a decent section to go over, so I'll read that after I take a sip of coffee. What kind of genetics are you guys cloning? What are you looking for? What are the traits you're targeting? What's something you want to repeat? One second, tactical text message. My buddy was trying to get me to play Elden Ring. Taste, potency, structure. What specific taste are you looking for, man? Potency, that can be a pretty broad spectrum, even if you did describe it. What specific structure are you looking for? Like a nice sturdy structure, or more of a tall, lanky structure? As genetics are identical between mother and clone, it's important to choose a good plant as a mother. A wilty plant, or one that doesn't produce good buds, won't make a good mother. Growers usually look for these qualities in a mother plant: sturdy, vibrant growth, great aromas and flavors, big yields, dense trichomes, resistance to pest and mold, which the resistance to pest and mold is a super important thing to stay vigilant of. Because if there are certain, like, if there are bugs around, but there's not predatory bugs around, it could mean that the bugs are eating the predatory bugs that are when I say predatory bugs, I mean the ones that are predatory towards our plant. One second. I'm gonna see if my dog wants to be let in real quick. Nope, she's just vibing out, looking in the distance. Does not care about a single damn thing. Really anything that tastes amazing from fruity to gassy candy. As far as structure, good dense buds with low leaf to flower ratio. That's a pretty good thing to look for. I have been super fortunate when it comes to leaf to bud ratio, because the only thing I had a problem with when it came to a high leaf per bud or to bud ratio is lemon kush, which in all honesty isn't even that bad, because the buds are so big that you kind of ignore that a lot of the leaves are there, if it makes sense. But yeah, I've been really fortunate that a lot of my plants don't grow very long and don't grow very many sugar leaves relatively. How to clone a cannabis plant? What do you need to clone? Scissors for taking off the mother plant, a razor for trimming up and cutting, which I just use scissors for that. I'll just like open the scissors and scrape the outside. A rooting setup. So tray, cell insert, a dome, root cubes, heat mat, or an auto cloner, and rooting hormone. Choose a rooting medium and setup. Common rooting mediums include rooting cubes, rock wool, or other non-soil equivalents like peat or foam. Has anyone in chat used the rock wool? Because I haven't. Running the strawberry gelati I cloned. This will be my second time flowering it out. Gassy, fruity, big, dense pine cone shaped buds. That sounds fantastic. Strawberry gelati. What breeder or seed bank did you get that from? Do you remember, or did you get it from someone you just know? Turbo clone for the win, baby. Guess what, man? I've never heard of it. But that's not gonna stop me from looking it up. What the fuck? I want Google. I just Google. I just Google. Is it the Turbo Clone 48? Turbo Clone 24? Turbo Clone T24? It was a Sin City freebie pack. Now I gotta look up Sin City. Don't worry, I have multiple windows. I'm going to be skipping between you guys. T24, fantastic. Oh, fuck yeah, this thing looks super official. Almost $200, though. Is it worth it? You have 3 of them? Are you fucking loaded or something? Or are you just dedicated to the fucking craft? God damn. ADHDOG, by the way. Good to see you in the chat, man. Also, if you guys are liking the stream, liking talking about clones, leave a like on this live stream. I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys are getting any value at all, that's the best way to let me know. Worth every penny. That is a fucking strong statement because you know what else is worth every penny? A clone dome and some powder, which I've gotten great success from. Maybe I'm just cheap though. Maybe I'm just cheap. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can you please show me the seats? Do you know? Oh, no, no. The freebie pack would actually be I would have to go to the checkout and then it would have to show me the options, right? And then you choose one, or does it give you a random one of their choice? That doesn't stop me from looking up the strain. You said later, not now? Wait, what? Gelati. I love how if you don't type strain, a fucking dessert just pops up. Strawberry gelato, indica dominant hybrid weed strain made from genetic cross between gelato number 33 and strawberry snow cone. Uh, Bred by Elevate Seeds, strawberry gelato is 20% THC, making this strain an ideal choice for beginner cannabis consumers. Leafly customers tell us strawberry gelato affects them feel talkative, energetic, and tingly. Pack says exclusive freebie pack, gelati crossed with rascal berries. So this is completely different from what you're talking about then, because this seems like it'd be readily available and pretty easy to get. It looks good. The strawberry gelati. Nope, that's showing me some more strawberry gelato. I feel absolutely robbed. No, I'd have to actually full blown go and pick that up then. Um Pink Monster Foam Rockwool is melted rock that has been spun into a fine thread and has a terrific airflow and moisture retention. That's interesting. Fuck, I never know how that was made. My mind's blown right now. You can find any of these cubes at most grocery stores or online, which you can find pretty much everything you need for gardening online and just have it shipped to your door. A lot of my stuff, I actually just got an air pump and rock like air stones for my water supplies, so that stuff can be more aerated and it doesn't sit there and get stale or anything like that. The water, that is. And I bought both of those things off of Amazon separately, but they are going right now and they're blowing bubbles and it's really fucking cool. Does anyone is there anyone out there who like has to make their water every single time they do a watering, or do most of us have like a water reservoir that we feed from? We don't recommend placing freshly cut clones into loose soil. Delicate clones need stability, and you shouldn't move around. Something that can happen easily when watering in loose soil. If your cubes of any kind, you'll need to invest in a tray, cell insert, and a dome. The clones will go in the cube, and the cubes into the tray cells, and all of that sits on a tray, which will hold water to keep in the humidity and make sure the dome over your tray. Wow. Make sure to use the dome over your tray, and you may even want to use a heat mat. Hand mix water every time. I used to do that. I used to hand mix my water every single time. We would have the water go from our faucet into a reverse osmosis system, and then the reverse osmosis system would drip into two giant trash barrels that were connected together by a tube about 6 inches above the bottom, so that you could fill both of these giant trash cans full of water. And then we would feed that into our 5 gallon buckets, and then we would put those 5 gallon buckets and pour those directly into the plants. That was before we had watering cans, and then I got watering cans and started using those instead. Straight up tap water? Fuck yeah, dude. You're growing organic, aren't you? ADHD OG. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying that. I also use my tap water here. I don't filter it. It comes out at like 255 or 44 parts per million, somewhere in that area. That's not too crazy for me. And of course, I don't know what's in there because I haven't had it tested and I haven't looked online to see what's in our water. But the plants look pretty good, other than like light and wind stress, and that's pretty much it. But also, back to this loose soil, I wanted to point out that this can also happen to seedlings. So if I haven't brought myself to doing this, but if you want to, you probably could sometimes, but I flower out using Athena right now. Okay. God, I had to trace myself back in that conversation. Um, what was I saying? Where was I? I was saying something, gosh darn it. Oh, you can germinate and grow seedlings inside of your rock, your like grow cubes. I don't filter, but I do dechlorinate. That's a good practice as well. I don't dechlorinate at the moment because I don't know how much chlorine well water has in it, if any. I don't think that's an ultra big concern. And again, my plants are healthy, so I don't really need to worry about that, fortunately. Um, that is something I probably should look into, though, and having my water actually tested, finding out what's in it. But yeah, germinating your seeds inside of the clone cubes, whichever you decide to go with, that could probably create a more sturdy structure because I've had pretty much every single time I've had issues with my seedlings themselves when I start from seed, standing up in those first couple of days where they're really getting their stuff figured out. Sometimes it takes up to like a week or two for them to be able to stand up, and sometimes they don't really until you transplant them again and like bury their stem down. So yeah, you should really look out for that. Make sure your plants have a sturdy structure. I actually I try and get I kind of jerry rigged a little bit of a paper clip I have sticking straight up. I straightened it all the way out, and then I took some garden tie and I made like a spiral around, and then I took that and put it around the plant, like the seedling, so then it could actually be held up by it and not be like interfered with when I do my watering. So you guys can all take that hack if you would like. The root cubes, I like, wow, root riot cubes for starting seeds. Well water shouldn't have any, but I use tap water, which almost always does. Can't stay here. I can't stay here to comment and like. Bare minimum I can do. Hope y'all enjoy the stream. Hey man, I hope you enjoy your night. I appreciate you stopping by, Fufu. It's always good to see a member in the chat and an old friend hanging out. You need to put the light uh, closet if you need to add a crutch. Yeah, so the problem I have with actually putting my light close, I know that I needed to have a more intense light, but the problem was when I started these seedlings is I was starting them in the same room as I was my I understand what you're saying. I was starting them in the same room that I had my larger plants in. So I could not bring my light closer or make it more intense. And I also had the limiting factor of not being able to raise those seedlings for whatever reason. But right now, I got them outside. I got them in a 5 gallon bucket with, it's a white 5 gallon bucket. So the light that is getting into it is reflecting back onto them to hopefully make it more intense and hopefully they'll be able to grow better. But I do have them outside now, so hopefully the light isn't what's causing them an issue anymore, and they can start growing normally again. I hope that's where we go from there. They're looking good though. Just growing slow, and part of that is probably because I had them in the windowsill, and we have it really cold in the house right now. But yeah, try the cubes for the seedlings as well. The clones will go in the cubes and the cubes into the tray cells. No, that sits in the water. Okay, we already read that shit. Another cloning method is to use an auto cloner, which ADHD has 3 of. There's initial cost for buying an auto cloner, but if you plan on cloning a lot, they are worth it. Auto cloners cut down the amount of labor needed to care for the clones. Using aeroponics, these machines spray the bottom of your cuttings with nutrient water at set intervals to promote root growth. So basically, that's just like growing on easy mode, which I don't have a problem with. Experiment to see which setup works best for you. Whichever method you choose, make sure your new clones are getting plenty of light, preferably 18 hours a day, and plenty of humidity. Really keep that humidity up. Root growth is amazing. Yes. Yes, it is. I think you mean specifically from the auto cloners, which I don't doubt, because machines will always be 100% more disciplined than human beings, and they will be able to take care of stuff better than we can. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna sit here and act like I unplug my light every 12 hours. Not only because I don't have the time, but even if I did, I would probably fucking forget because I'm an asshole. So I have a light switch that automatically turns off the light for me, so I don't have to fucking do it. I have a lot of automated systems in my garden, and I do appreciate a lot of what's coming out to make it more automated because that's going to make it a lot easier. Imagine how much easier it's going to be for like a disabled or elderly person to be able to have a fully automated garden, and all they would have to do is move a seedling, which anyone can carry, to a large pot that you can fill in its spot and never have to pick up, putting it in there, and just automatically having it watered because you can electronically dial in the moisture percentage tolerance at every stage of growth, and all you have to do is make sure that that plant has a fucking water supply. Like, that's where we're headed, and it's awesome. I used to be a little bit more against automation, but the nuance and whatever. So it's a beautiful thing. I love technology so much. There are very few days where I go through anymore and not be just very thankful of the time we're living in. Like, granted, economics are kind of fucking shit. The housing market is garbage. But there are a lot of things to be thankful for, and automated gardening is a big one. How to clone in rock wool or root cubes. This is probably the cheapest and easiest way to clone weed plants. They offer stability to delegate. Wow. Stability to delicate? Wow. Fuck. I'm pronouncing delicate like a fucking asshole. Delicate clone and provide a medium for roots as to easily start. Simply take a cutting more below, put in some root hormone and then stick it into the rock wool or root cube. The cubes then go into a tray with water and then are covered by a dome to keep humidity. But once roots pop out, the cutting in the root cube can be transplanted into a pot with soil. EBB and flow table grows are just like that too, but no soil. So like what? Hydroponics? Basically? Okay. Yeah, no, hydroponics seems pretty good too, but I don't know if I'll ever I don't know if I'll ever put a real stock into hydroponics, simply because of the issues that come with it. But I might do it for content. I think it'd be fun to do a hydroponic run. The Dutch table method is super easy for disabled individuals. Dutch table. You guys say a lot of things that I've never seen before. So then I gotta Google them and see what's up, because I love knowing things. I'm not really big on cloning, partially because there's so many breeders, but also I enjoy variety, and the surprise every harvest is like Christmas. Um, the wonder is half the fun. Have a good night, Gromies. Hey, it's good to see you stopping by and leaving a sincere note. I also love new genetics, but I also love being able to repeat results. I find it very fun, and I also think cloning is very applicable when it comes to beginner growers. I think it's going to be very good for them to learn to clone. So then they don't have to buy seed upon seed upon seed upon seed. And then they can also dial in their strategy for a specific cultivar, get familiar with growing, and be able to repeatedly get better results and a more refined product. But with that, hey, Legion's Laboratory, if you're still here listening to this, good night. I hope you sleep well and have a good day afterward. Always appreciate seeing you guys pop up in the chat and leaving kind things and fun notes. I don't know if I'm looking at the right stuff here, because it's not like one thing popped up, but there's a lot of hydroponic type stuff that pops up when you look up the Dutch table. So I imagine it's hydroponic, which I could see hydroponic being really easy for people who don't have the time or aren't willing to expend the effort to do more in their garden. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. The more you stay out of your garden, the better, actually, because then you're not introducing new stuff that you picked up somewhere else. But yeah, automatic gardening, good. Frequently asked questions about cannabis cloning. How long does it take to grow a root? It says 3 to 14 days. I would probably quit before 14 days. Honestly, I cut it off at about like a week or 10 days at the most. Should you trim clones? It can be helpful to snip off the tip of the fan leaves of a clone. This reduces the plant material of the clone so it can focus its energies on producing roots. Be sure to leave some leaf as the clone needs to soak up sunlight. So I didn't know that's the reason you snip it off. I thought it had something to do with absorbing humidity from the air through their wounds or something like that. But maybe I'll stop doing that. I noticed I was watching a live stream with Pigeons 420 taking clones from, I believe it was a Northern Lights plant or a skunk number one, something like that. And he wasn't snipping off the leaves. And I asked him, I tried to ask him, and he didn't respond to my message. He must not have seen it. He does do a lot away from the camera when he does his live streams. I don't know what he records on, but yes. Can you clone a male weed plant? Yes, all weed cuttings are male and female. Can root out evenly or eventually turn into new plants. Males can be propagated for their pollen and breeding purposes, which is something I want to get into. Does anyone by chance have any tips for pheno hunting males and picking out a good male other than like high pollen sac production, because that one's kind of a given? And also something I wouldn't know when I'm taking the clones in the veg stage. Uh, yeah, it's just those three frequently asked questions. I think that was a pretty good Leafly article. Again, we didn't go over the whole thing. I kind of skipped around a little bit because I didn't think we needed to go over everything, and I really want to talk about other stuff. But I don't know what to Google for it because I just want to find like the things you put on the stem, like honey, powder, gel. But I want to know if there's any other ones that I've never heard of before that people are using. Do you guys know? Do you guys know what kind of crazy stuff people are putting on stems? Honey for cloning plants. Humboldt nutrients. Aloe. That's. I'm not sure if I've heard that one before. I gotta be honest. It sounds like something that people would use. Humboldt honey. Jesus. It's a. It's. Oh, wait. How big is this? The aloe works or the honey works? I mean, I'm sure they both work. Like, even if it's not doing anything for the actual plant, just putting it in soil works. But I could imagine, like, for the honey, I imagine the sugars would help or something like that. Aloe vera is a powerful organic alternative to synthetic cloning solutions. The chemical makeup of aloe vera gel includes saponin. Yeah, we'll go with saponin, a natural wetting agent that is also packed with enzymes and amino acids that help the plant root more successfully. So there you go. Yes, proved by science. Chemicals and whatnot. Aloe vera is a trick for cloning your plants. Who would have thunk? I would not have thought to do that. But hey, man, maybe I'll grow an aloe plant and use its juice to clone my weed. Maybe that's something I'll do. Maybe I'll sell it specifically for that purpose. That could be interesting. CE420 brand aloe vera. Maybe I could pheno hunt the aloe vera so we could find the ones with the higher amount of chemical to reach the higher amount of success to reach a higher profit margin to reach a higher market for all of that. And obviously, it would be cheaper than like synthetic stuff because it's aloe, you know. It's natural. Wow, we've been going for 40 minutes. I'm going to look up natural things. To clone plants with. I'm I'm just too stupid to look up what I want to look up. Let's just look into cloning powder. Let's see what's in that makes it go off. Clonex solution rooting hormones. That is a fucking 55-gallon barrel, bro. Discontinued. It's fucking $3,030 for a big old 55-gallon barrel of fucking Clonex, dude. Oh my lord. No shot. What were they thinking? Was it like a meme product? Because there's no reviews. 55-gallon. It must be a meme. They probably made like 5. Here's the rooting gel. Clonex rooting gel is widely recognized as an industry standard for its ability to meet the wow, wow, ability to meet the successful and consistent results required for propagation done with vegetative cuttings. It is registered with the EPA and is approved for use on all food crops, including medicinal plants, in all 50 states, plus Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico, and is the only rooting gel approved by the Colorado Department of Agriculture for propagating medical plants. That's really weird, but okay. I'll take your word on it. By the way, I'm gonna take a minute real quick to plug my Twitter. If you guys are feeling like you're missing out, not seeing enough CE 420 content, maybe you miss my plants. Well, you can either wait until Saturday to see my plants when a grow update pops up. That's what I got coming up in the future. You could go over to my Twitter account, which is in the description of my videos, and go ahead and follow that and have your Twitter feed full of my plants. I've been taking a lot of pictures, and I am very excited to post some more of them because I took more tonight. Clonex rooting gel is a high-performance water-based rooting gel developed by Growth Technology Ltd. It is a tenacious gel which will remain in contact around the stem, actually sealing the cut tissue and then applying the hormones needed to promote the root gel development. It is manufactured under strict pharmaceutical laboratory conditions and is consistently years ahead of old-fashioned hormones and powders. Since 1988, Clonex rooting gel has led the way in plant propagation, with billions of clones successfully rooted, including virtually every species of plant known to man. That is a fucking claim. I didn't realize that CloneX was such a fucking crazy company. Like, it's so easy to find it, and they put it everywhere, and they've obviously dominated the market. But I had no idea that they were quite literally the only ones approved in some places for agriculture. CloneX formula has been fine tuned to give explosive root development and for its reason serious growers and plant nurseries depend upon it for successful and profitable plant propagation. It is completely alcohol free, which is good. It is available in 15 milliliter single use packets as well as 100 milliliter, 250 milliliter, 16 ounce, 32 ounce wide mouth bottles. One 15 milliliter single use packet treats approximately 50 plant cuttings. That's absolutely crazy. And then, you got the 55-gallon drum, but we're not going to talk about that because it was discontinued. How many plants do you think that would clone, by the way? Like, I would say 750,000 clones probably with a 55-gallon bucket. Somewhere in that area. To ensure your CloneX gel has a long shelf life, do not dip directly into the bottle or pour leftover bottle or a product back in the bottle. Also, avoid exposing CloneX gel to extreme temperatures. You can maximize the shelf life of this CloneX gel by storing it in the refrigerator when not in use. So keep it in your fridge, ladies and gentlemen. But I think we covered it pretty well. We learned a couple tricks. We learned about cloning. We learned about mother plants. We learned about what to look for when picking out your mother plants. If anyone has any last things they would like to say, leave down in the chat below. I welcome all of your messages. But I think that's gonna go ahead and be the stream for tonight. I appreciate every single one of you for joining. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much.